When you start a company and you realize there's no magic checkbook, there's no like dollars that just appear every time you have to run payroll, you know, when it comes time to write that check, there's this tendency to like weigh and measure people. Like, did I really get this many dollars worth of value out of this person this week?
Everybody is scared that they have a job to defend. It's really rare that you have an environment where you're safe to give up that personal, I've got to hold on to this because this is my responsibility, my job.
It's really easy, especially in creative work, to become almost a naysayer, like just to critique too heavily, where you're just saying no to everything. Like, I don't like this, I don't like that. None of these ideas are good enough, none of these taglines are good enough.
There can be a tendency to blame them or maybe discount them a little bit or see them as less than they are. At each step that you feel a little bit disappointed, a little bit like you didn't get your value, a little bit more like they're taking more than they're giving. And that perspective can be very inward focused and very damaging to the relationship. It can really, really fast completely destroy a relationship with an employee.
When Amy first started this company, she had this tagline that was this socially minded creative agency. And at the very beginning, it was based on this idea that like we want to do good.
Before I started working with Arbinger, like I just felt like there were some things that, you know, I was making the decision for my own opinion or my own, what I needed to do for me to defend the company or whatever, and it felt very personal if I wanted to say no to somebody who really wanted something. After I started being coached by Arbinger, it was just so easy to really see things in terms of like, these are real people and they have hopes and dreams that are as real as my own.
By changing our mindset and focusing on others' objectives instead of our own, we're able to create an experience for our clients that is just smooth, free of drama, free of the normal obstructions that would prevent good creative work from being done. I think we maintain a really smooth and positive workflow so we can hit the deadlines, please the clients, and also not tear each other apart.
You know, as a designer, I still have to sit in front of a computer and design or build a strategy or write, a piece of communication. The action hasn't changed. But what has changed is, who am I thinking about? Am I thinking about creating this experience? Am I thinking about the user who's going to stand behind it and use it? Am I thinking about the content that they're going to read, how they're going to reflect on it? Am I thinking about how what I'm designing, how what I'm building is going to further their career? And so all those behaviors could be done, differently. But am I thinking about being outward focused and thinking about that? And it's hard. Sometimes, you just get stuck in your head, which is why I think having a culture of people who are outwardly focused is great, because it always pulls you back to that.
The benefit to really understanding what our clients are trying to do is that we have a better idea of how this project impacts them. So we like to get down into not just what the objective is, the marketing objective and what they're trying to achieve, but really what they're trying to achieve. Does their bonus depend on how this project goes? Does their promotion depend on how this project goes? What are the other things that we don't know that are in here, and how can we just really help them be successful at every level?
At the end of the day, I think outward mindset, that becomes all of our measurables. And I think what's different about an outward mindset versus an inward mindset for a company is that the measurable becomes different and it becomes more substantial.
Culture is everything for us, and trying to figure out how to build a very deliberate culture that has this external mindset that isn't internally focused is super important, and it's something that we're striving to do every day and that we're trying to bake in at every level of how we operate.